The door of paradise has been opened. Your grave has been made spacious. A sweet breeze is flowing in the grave. Your heart is satisfied with a feeling much greater than the joy of sitting by the most beautiful seashore of the world. While remembering Allah's boundless mercy upon you, you begin to think about those grave dwellers whose situation is far different from yours. You recall the words of the Messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had given some descriptions of various types of torments in the grave so that we all remain cautious. In a hadith of Bukhari, it is mentioned that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam one day saw some examples of the torment of the grave through a dream, which he described to teach us. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw two people taking him by his hands toward Jerusalem. Suddenly, he saw two men. One person was sitting, and another person was standing with an iron hook in hand. The standing person was inserting the iron hook into the mouth of the sitting person and pulling it out in such a way that the entire cheek on one side was being torn apart. Then he was striking the other cheek in the same way, and by then the first cheek was becoming healed again. In this way, his punishment continued. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked why this was happening. Then his companion angel said, "Come, come," meaning the explanation will come later. After that, he arrived beside a person lying on his back. A person was standing near his head with a stone, crushing his head into pieces with the stone. As the thrown stone rolled away, the thrower would go to pick it up, and by the time he returned to the lying person, his head would have healed back to its original state. In this way, his head was repeatedly being smashed to pieces. The Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam again asked, "Who is this person?" The angels again said, "Come, come," meaning the explanation will come later. After that, they reached a pit, which was somewhat like an oven, with fire burning deep inside the pit. In that pit were countless naked men and women. The fire was rushing toward them from below, and they were screaming loudly. Again, the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked about them, and again the angels said, "Come, come." After that, they arrived at a river through which blood was flowing. In the middle of that river of blood stood a man, and on the riverbank stood another person with a stone in front of him. Whenever the man in the middle of the river tried to move forward, to come out of the river, the person standing on the bank would throw the stone at his face. This would force him to return to his original place. Every time he tried to reach the bank, the person would throw the stone at his face. After that, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam saw several more astonishing scenes, and finally he asked again for the explanation of what he had seen. Then the angel said, "The person whose cheek you saw being torn apart was a liar who used to spread false words, and his lies would be narrated far and wide. He will continue to be punished in the grave like this until the day of judgment." The person whose head was being smashed with a stone was someone whom Allah had taught the Quran, but he would sleep at night without reciting the Quran and would not act according to the Quran during the day. He too will continue to be punished like this until the day of judgment. Those you saw in the pit were adulterers, and the one you saw in the river of blood was a usurer. In another hadith of Bukhari and Muslim, it is mentioned that the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, while passing by two graves, said, "These two grave dwellers are being punished." but they are being punished for sins that were not difficult to avoid. One used to spread slander about others, and the other did not clean himself properly after answering the call of nature. The punishment for theft in the life of Barzakh is also quite terrifying. In another hadith of Bukhari and Muslim, it is narrated that during the Battle of Khaybar, a slave named Rifa ibn Zayd was martyred. The other companions were praising him, saying he attained the rank of a martyr. Then the Messenger ﷺ said, despite being a martyr, he is being punished at this moment. One day, he stole a small piece of cloth. That cloth is now burning him as fire. The Messenger ﷺ, during his journey of Miraj, also saw a group of people whose lips were being cut with scissors of fire. Jibril ﷺ said, they used to advise your ummah to do good deeds, but did not do those good deeds themselves. They read the Quran, but did not understand it. These torments are undoubtedly terrifying. Many of us do not want to discuss these matters. We only want to hear stories of Allah's mercy and love. Yet some ask, Allah loves us far more than a father or mother. Why would that Allah give us such punishments? Others say, Islam is a religion of peace. Then why are these terrifying punishments, burning, cutting, mentioned here? In reality, when we disobey Allah, the ugliness of that act is not fully apparent in this worldly life. How great Allah is, and how terrible it is to disobey any of His commands. We do not comprehend how grave the consequences of this truly are. Because we do not comprehend, we only love to think about Allah's boundless mercy. We do not love to think about His perfect justice. The consequence of a bad deed is as terrifying as the torment of the grave. But because Allah loves us so much, He seeks opportunities to pave the way for us to reach paradise. Therefore, He does not punish us immediately. Rather, He gives us our entire life. He keeps calling us to return. He calls us in various ways, and the moment we return, He forgives us. And even after that, when we keep rejecting His call, keep rejecting, He sends us sacred messages to inform us how terrifying a consequence we are pushing ourselves toward. Yet, instead of learning from the severity of that consequence, we say, why are such terrifying things being told to me? Why are these images of punishment and suffering being presented? Behind presenting these images lies an infinite compassion, an infinite mercy, which we do not want to understand. But a day will come when every human will understand the truth, when reality will take its complete form and appear before humankind. The day of judgment, the day of reckoning, known by many names. That day will be discussed in the subsequent parts.